And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The cows precede us, and now we come to the pasture of LVO. It is time. We were going to come with different stuff today, but then we had, I know you're going to be super shocked, everyone, some technical issues. So. But we overcame, we persevere, we adapt, overcome. That's how we roll. So, what's going on, brothers?
Not much. What's going on with you?
We have a couple hours before we have to put our LVO list in?
Yeah.
Brian's got to pick a faction.
I mean, I had you put a lovely poll up to ask people what army I should play, because I don't feel like making my mind up.
Tyranids.
You know what army I'm going to play as well.
Either big boys or horde. Necrons, destroyer cult or horde. I use my excellent polling mojo to put up Tyranids, Necrons, destroyer cult, yes or no for the horde. So we've got that. We've got it happening. I had an intervention yesterday, which was pretty funny. On 40K. I had a 40K intervention, which was, Brad, do you really think you should take an army that you have to grind out every single game? And I was like, well, you make a good point, because I was like, these are the 4 things that I can play. And they're like, 3 of these might kill you over the course of the weekend. Yeah, just too much painting for that. No worries. I'll just make some big things. Big bugs, less to move. I like your style there. So we've got things. We've got stuff. Hello. Yes, Lyle was the leader of the intervention yesterday. And then I literally made calls to different people, and they're like, yeah, he's not wrong. You should literally not die at LVO. I'm like, I went from, what are your goals at LVO? Win the tournament, not die. Sometimes you got to set the bar way low. Horde fatigue is a real thing. So that is a thing to think about. And I do want to talk about that for even people that aren't total shitballs with their health. But if you're planning, because everybody goes in with their best strategy of doing everything. But what happens is, over the course of the weekend, you eat like shit, you stay out too late, you have too many drinks, and you get into games 5 and 6. And if you're playing a 200 model army sometimes, or a very intricate army, all of a sudden you make unforced errors and mistakes. So you either have to come up with a game plan of keeping care of yourself and have put in a lot of homework before then, where you literally have your army like the back of your hand, where you practiced enough where you know your phases, you know the order that you're going to do things in. And that's a big deal. So you actually get more time in your games and everything else. The more time you spend preparing, the more time you're going to have in your games, and you'll feel more confident. That's a big thing.
I do have an update. Sorry, I've been kind of not really talking for the last minute, but I was going through some Facebook stuff. So for a lot of people watched, part of the DLG family, Julie gave us an update on Scott. For those who know, Scott was in the hospital for what they thought were strokes. But now they're saying they don't think it was strokes, and he's home. He's getting better. He's got some medical updates coming soon with doctors. But you know what, Scott, brother, glad to see you're safe and getting better at home. If you need anything, you know we got you.
100%.
Glad to hear that.
Alive and well. Alive and kicking. Isn't that a song? Alive and kicking. But, as I said, but you got to get ready for the event. And the thing is that having real goals in an event are a big thing, because there's one person that gets to win this event. So if your goal, you have to have kind of subsets of goals, to be perfectly honest. To be fair. Well, it can't be just win the tournament. It has to be, do certain well, but enjoy yourself, be better with my army, have fun, make sure that you meet somebody new. All of those kind of things. It's a big deal, man. Again, it's a hobby that we all share and have fun with. The number one thing is having a good time. I'm not trying to lose any games, but I'm also trying to have a good time every single table. So that's a big thing.
Yeah, my entire goal is to have fun. Although I really did, honest to God, think about pre-ordering one of the FLG tables, bringing a table worth of terrain in my suitcase, and putting up the sign like we discussed, Brad, of I think Ark's Omen is better. Try me.
Change my mind. Just have it right there, baby. Right there. I thought about. I said that I'd probably do that, but Britt's coming to the tournament with me, and basically, if I wasn't trying to win every game, she would be hitting me with a spatula or shanking me, stab. So,
Andy, bro, you're not getting me in a schmedium, bro. I don't know if you.
Oh God.
No, big I am.
V-necks for everyone. It's gonna look sexy as hell, everyone.
Brad will have to cut that shirt off me. Why did I do this?
Nope.
Man?
We're gonna V-neck half shirt. That's what I want from you, Tom. It's gonna look hot.
As long as we can get Daisy Dukes at the same time, I'm all for it.
My eyes just burnt out thinking of all of that. Ow. The pain.
So let's talk about some LVO stuff though. First off, we're trying to figure out Brian's army, but let's discuss Brad.
I made a hard detour. You remember last year when I made a crazy last minute decision? I decided to go with it because it worked so well. Hey, at least I'm not going straight from the hospital to the LVO like I did last year. So I had some thoughts, and I've been coaching a lot with it. I've played against it a lot, and I've played a billion practice games around it. I'm going to go Tau, man. I'm joining the army that people love to hate, but I needed some faster games to make it through all the way. So I'm hoping that really helps out. And it's also an army that has some good matchups into what I think is going to be in the top 8. The top, or even say the top 24, the games that you're going to have to fight to get into those finals. So
I'm glad to hear Brad's joining the Greater Empire, guys. It's only taken me almost a year. I think I was talking to Brad a week after last year's LVO about going to town. Didn't want to do it, and it's been a long con. I've been slowly whispering through nothing to make our rooms together and sleeping.
He does keep telling me to play Tau. The best is I said I was going to do it. He's like, yeah, man, I've been saying that for a while. And I said my usual response. I've been wrong, and I'll be wrong again, Tom. You've seen me do it.
So let's talk
Brad
about...
and I were talking last night, and he was like, yeah, I'm playing Tau. I was like, I have a Tau army upstairs. And he was like, you could just play Tau. I was like,
pretty soon, all my DOG members will be playing Tau.
I like what's going on here, though. We're going to get him in schmediums, V-necks, half shirts, gold DOG chains.
Done. Sounds like that's a winning recipe for me. So, Brad, let's talk about your Tau list, though. Like, we going Tau Sept or we going Farsight?
Farsight. Because
all right, guys.
It was hard for me
Thank you all for coming on tonight. The show is over.
Come on, man. It's hard not to take the guy that literally is using Stormbringer as a weapon. He has a soul-sucking sword that he just refuses to acknowledge that he has it and is literally not dying. Hey, Farsight, I noticed that you're the oldest Tau alive. You're like, what? It probably doesn't have anything to do with this crazy, cursed, blood-sucking sword that you're using. It sucks souls from people. What? No, probably nothing. There's no correlation whatsoever. I did the math, guys. It's no big deal.
So Lyle's saying you're playing his Tau list. Ooh.
Yeah, basically with modifications. Well, I mean, we have been working on this for a while. It's funny because I'm looking through it and I'm looking at the things that I might want to change. And I go, I kind of like this. He goes, yeah, man, you should probably like it. We've been talking about it for 8 months. You should probably be okay with that list. Why does DOG all play Tau? Because it's for the greater good. And also, basically, we get corrupted by it. They just keep going, man, if you were a good guy, you'd play Tau for the greater good, man. Come on, just do it.
There's only like 4 or 5 of us that actually play Tau, though, in all fairness.
I mean, you get your face pushed in enough by an army, and eventually you go, maybe I should play that army.
It's a weird fish cult. You know I'm totally calling it that now.
What it is you understand, when you join DOG, eventually I cower you and I intimidate you at tournaments when no one's looking, and I start belittling you until you agree to play Tau.
It's like, do it. Just do it. You want to. You know you want to.
No, you want to.
DOG Tuna Can Slam. I like that a ton.
So you want to hear something? I've been thinking about this, Brad, and let's discuss it now, me and you. We were just talking about it, and I didn't want to tell you this when you brought it up because I wanted to save it for the show. You're talking about how you're not a fan of the Honor Guard Gauntlet, right?
Because I miss with it constantly. It's only 4 attacks.
What if I told you? Hear me out. I've been considering tonight of changing up my Cold Stars loadout for LVO.
Ooh, hot spicy. What's going on?
I'm thinking about running 4 weapons instead of 3. So it'll be high outburst, plasma, special flamer, missile pod, and the rogue giving him the shield generator. So it's the same points, and being a little bit more towards
range.
Yeah, I just think that with a lot of things out there, the game right now, and getting more. Well, it's not more shots, less shots, but it's potentially more damage. I've been weighing that out.
Sorry, I just look at the chat and I see Lyle go, "What changes is Tom making? He's taking 2 Honor gauntlets now. He looks like Marty is Calgar now."
I'm torn on it, but I'm thinking about taking a flamer. But
I love the flamer.
The thing is, though, if you look at every single one of my towel lists this season, from the day after LVO till now, the Cold Star loadout is the only thing that hasn't changed my list. And Shadow Sun. I've had those 2 things in every single one of my list. I'm thinking about not taking them.
Look at you, last minute changing. I heard that's always for the best. There's never anything bad with taking something that you've been playing week in and week out and changing it at the last minute for something untested. I always say to go with that.
I'm just not testing. I know what. Basically, I'm just swapping the Honor Gauntlet for Thermo at that point. If you think about it, I lose my wound cap is the only thing, but honestly, the wound cap hasn't been doing that much for me lately. So,
Adorn, you're never stupid for having Adorn in your list. The thing's a big boy. I have a hard time not just going. I could take 2 Russes for Adorn though. Yep. Let's talk about what we think is going to be at the top and why we're taking what we're taking, to be perfectly honest.
All right.
Because I think you're going to see we have nothing different, which is a sadness. Actually, real quick, let me throw myself under the bus because this is one of my favorites that happened today. So before we went live, I'm telling Tom, I'm going to take some towel, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about it. And I'm going to go to a tournament next week, and it's running all the new stuff. He's like, "What are you going to run?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to run my Sally's. It's going to be super fun." And Tom tries to make sense and act logical. Goes, "Hey, man, why don't you freaking play the towel list? You know, the one that you're going to play at LVO that you haven't been taking to tournaments." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that seems like a better idea." I'm like, he might be onto something. That guy's got panache.
I even volunteered to come up to the tournament because I'm not playing in it, watch your games, and tell you what you should have done afterwards to help coach you.
Nope, it's got to be during the game. You got to slap my hand off models. No. Bad Brad. No.
If I do that, eventually I have to turn on, but Brad, just get out of the way. I'll play this game.
I'm going to be on his back like Master Blaster style. Who runs Bottom Town?
Ratatouille going on there.
It is the cow cult, not the fish cult.
Brad's going to convince me at LVO to not play and I'm going to move his models for him.
Yep. I'm gonna take a lifeguard chair to every single one of my tables and just yell down. So this is what I'm about to take right now, I think. So I mean, this is all subject to change. What I got like a couple hours, I could end up with GSC by that time. So yeah, exactly, Yoda and Skywalker. But So I'm going to take 2 Cold Star Commanders, Farsight, a 5-man Brick, Plasma Cyclic Burst, 2 3-mans, Burst Flamer Cyclic, 2 units of Crude, 2 units of Crude Hounds, 2 Planes, and a Riptide in a Pear Tree. And I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not going to lie. These have been sitting around. He's not joking, by the way. Tom has been effectively yelling at me to play Tau for months now. He's like, you would have such an easier time. It'd be better for you. And I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about, Tom. I'm going to wander around being stubborn.
I'm going to play Eldar, which I have to drag out 3.5-hour games. Brad, but you only get 3 hours. I know, but I get drunk and play an extra half hour. I don't care. Grinding my ass off for these wins on this underpowered Eldar.
Embrace statue and celebrate. There's Milk Day? Is that a thing? I need to know about this. I will definitely replace it with an immediate, amazing, ridiculous picture. So, but speaking of those things, here's the reasons we're thinking about it. Because I think we're going to play at the top. There's nothing new. Absolutely nothing new. So let's talk about the fact that you're going to see Tyranids, you're going to see Harlequins, you're going to see Chaos, which is going to be Creations of Bile / Emperor's Children. You're going to see some other Tau. And I feel like I'm just missing armies right now when I said the tops. You're going to see some Krons and the usual suspects of Kron sisters. There's going to be Marines out there. There's always Marines out there.
At this point, with no changes happening, what are we thinking's winning?
I love everything about the fact that I read it as Milk, not MLK Day. Everybody's going, Brad, why are you such an idiot? I think it's mostly genetics. It's some nurture, some nature. It's a little bit of both. I also know that it's MLK Day because I did something earlier. My mom went over to a gathering at her church for it, and then I completely forgot, and I said it's Milk Day.
Well, Brad's also old, so he can't read.
I mean, all of the above. I'm not wearing my glasses. It's all bad. So...
Guys, what do we think's gonna? So knowing the usual suspects we have, and with a lot of the lists being out there, and a lot of people already putting their factions in, who you got in this?
I think that you're going to see at least 1, possibly 2 Tyranids in the top. Am I going to be canceled for reading something wrong? It's not even bad. It's just me not being able to read. I should get like a fund for me at that point in time. So.
Oh, that'd be kind of silly for people. I mean, he didn't make any bad comments. He just read because he can't read. He's old.
But Brad is from the era when you finished 5th grade and went to the coal mine. This is true. I'm making lists with Lyle, and he goes, every time I went, I'm like, hold on a second. I had to put my glasses on because I couldn't actually read what he did. Also, he kept giving me his phone at 0 brightness. I'm an old man. I run my phone at 100% brightness. I think McDougal's going to LVO. Yes. Bobby Boucher. For show. So I think you're going to see Tyranids. I really do think you're going to see Tyranids. I think you're going to see Quins. You're going to see Chaos at the top.
I don't know if Chaos is going to make it with the player placed.
Chaos is actually stronger in player place than GW. They can stage their ruins better.
It was to say, it also depends if they get that first middle ruin. That's a big deal for that Chaos player if they can sit there, because you want to be able to ping them away, and they can really threaten if they get that middle. Now, it's going to be a big deal whether they get the first drop or the second drop at that point in time, though. Or if you're playing on one of the missions where you have a stronghold in the middle, that's going to change a lot when you're looking at it. Mm-hmm. Who is this year's custom?
I've seen in player placed Chaos not do as well consistently. So maybe it's just...
Well, you can open it up.
Maybe it's unique.
So you can literally, if especially if the opposing player gets the first drop, you can open that board up, make them have to go all the way across the board, and then they do have a hard time. That's kind of one of the things why, and I gave him props the last week on it. It's why I do like the idea of having a middle piece that you can see through, because it gives you obscuring, but then if you try to get to that middle objective, you can shoot on it. So I like that a lot. I don't like the fact that who it's not even, I don't care who goes first or second. I like going second way more in most games, but it's a big deal for who puts the first piece of terrain out. Kevin, the thing is with a BA list, the BA list always has play on player placed. Again, it really determines their win rate, and the tough games is going to be whether or not they get that first drop. Because if you can stage Blood Angels in the middle on a big V, that's a terrifying army. It's a big deal. So, do you guys think that Votann will make the top 8, or are they too volatile?
They're too hit or miss, I think. I'm not sure if people have enough reps in them with them. If you put it in the right player's hands, I think they can top 8, but I don't see it being. I'm not going to say it's 100% guaranteed, but I don't see it. I see it top 16 without a doubt, but I don't know if I can see it in the top 8.
I mean, do we know any top players that's taken Votann to?
I don't know who's taken. Actually, I have no idea what anybody's taking yet. So I have not even bothered to even take a peek yet. So, Brandon, then on player play, I agree on that. Player place is tough because if they don't get the terrain that they like, it's very difficult because of the fact that Votann has so little stuff. They raise their points so hard, even without the recent point increases in the data slate, or sorry, in the whatever it is, the newest ones. But they still went up quite a bit from the codex. You know what I mean? They don't have a ton of models.
Yep. And also, most people that I've talked to that really want to play Votann competitively haven't been able to get everything yet because the Sagittarium have been kind of tough to come across, and so have the Hearthguard.
Yeah, I can see that. The guys are making good points in the chat, which is like BA with the current secondaries, not with Arcs of Omen now. I think the BA is going to take a big jump in power moving forward because they lost secondaries. Because right now you can literally take 3 units of Death Company, Lamardes, and then take Relentless Assault and Fury and just score 30 points almost automatically in most games. It's so easy on that. That's why you've seen Blood Angels do so well over the course of the season. It's not just because they're armies. I mean, they do have Flying Terminators, of course, with 2 up Sanguinary Guard, but it's the secondary game. I mean, look at Necrons, look at Sisters, you know what I mean? Secondaries can really raise your army a huge amount. I agree the Blood Angel, you might see a Blood Angel. It's really going to be on that is what their matchups are, to be perfectly honest. Yep. Because Blood Angels are that army that can beat anybody, but needs a couple conditions to be met. And if they get a terrible table where the first person opens it up and it's already an more open type table, they could be in serious trouble at that point in time. What are your thoughts on the top, Tom? Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, go ahead.
I think you're going to see Tau up there. I think you're going to see Harlequins. I think Nids have a chance. After that, it just depends who's piloting who. Like, I put more stock in player abilities, not army abilities. We always see it. We see like codexes that, for example, you look at AdMech. I still think in the old rules, AdMech's still playable. I think I could do well with AdMech. I know a lot of players do AdMech, but because there's not a lot of top players playing them, they're not doing well. Same thing for Tau. You take away the top 10 place players in Tau, and you move them from the equation, and the win rate drops considerably down. So I don't know. It's hard for me to pick. If I pick only off faction, I would say Harlequins, Nids, probably EC, and Tau would be the top 4 I'd pick right now.
I can see that. I mean, obviously the player makes a huge difference on that. I was just looking at armies that do well in this format. Corey, my Necrons will be in the top 8. Just calling it right now. 100%.
I actually think you're going to see Necrons in the top 8. because of their ability to score and score well, and with this being a very large event, and then they're cutting to Shadow Round and then there's a really good chance that Necrons are going to be in that top 8. I don't think we're going to get a lot of repetition in the top 8 this year. I think it's going to be a wide variety. I think there will be probably 2 Tau was the only army that I can say that I see like multiples getting in.
I can see. Go ahead.
I think Tau is the boogeyman right now, personally. You look at all the top codexes: Nids, Tau Jazit, Emperor's Children / Chaos Space Marines, Tau Eat, Harlequins. They relatively do well into. So I definitely could see 2 to 3 top Tau.
Tyranids are still really good with the old rules. I was really thinking about taking them if it wasn't for the fact that I have to grind out all the games with them, though. So, since I haven't finished a tournament in a while, that's my main goal. I have a layered goal effect. Don't die. Play all my games. Yeah, 100% on that, Corey.
Reasonable requests.
Corey makes a good thing on that. He goes, he was in favor of LVO being old rules, but now that everything is out, he's just not even thinking about Nephilim. And that's a big deal. We actually I've been in a couple TTS things where people wanted to practice for LVO, and then everybody ended up wanting to play the new rules anyways. They're like, I'll play, but I want to play new rules.
I'm 100% in agreement with that. I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit selfish. Like, I hope they still use old rules just because I want to play Tau one last time before I put them on the shelf for a bit. And the closer I get to LVO, I'm like, man, I really wish they were playing the new rules, because that's why I move on to the next season already.
Well, there's so much stuff that you can do, and they really open it up for army creation, and the points obviously raise the bottoms up, so it's a big deal on that.
Mm-hmm. I just want to try some different stuff. I want to get
100%.
oddball things to the table. I want to take, like I don't know if I sent you the Necron list that I was working on, but I put together a Necron list and I sent it over to a couple people, and they were like, wow, this is really different, really interesting. They were like, it plays into what Necron's new stuff is. Seems like it has enough MSU and Marine killing to do stuff. And I was like, yeah, I just want to try it out.
It's a big deal on that. So I'm very much looking forward to the new stuff. But obviously we got this tournament to do, and I'm not bummed about it, but I am a little bit. I mean, I love the tournament itself. It's a great time. You know what I mean? But when your new toys come out, and we are playing with toys, I want to play with my new toys, damn it. So, and bringing some of my old toys out back, so it's a big deal on that. So I'm excited. I'm more excited, to be honest. I actually like the idea of playing Tau for myself going into LVO, because it's something I haven't been playing, and it gives me still the new feel with an older army.
I don't know, man. Like, what was it, yesterday or the day before Battlescribe updated? So, and man, I'm way too lazy to go back to the days of 5th edition where we had to handwrite our list. I'm like, I just refuse to do it.
What are you talking about, dude? That's what mail's for. I just keep handwriting lists on the back of bills.
But the thing is, now that's like on Battlescribe, I've been playing with lists, and like ever since that happened, I've just been so far blown into wanting to play the new season. Like, man, at one point I wanted the old rules at LVO, and now I'm upset that they're doing it.
Well, you want the fun? Bring out the fun. Yeah, I mean,
Well, you got to think, if we were walking into LVO with kind of a nobody knows what the Baddest Army is, there is no big proving ground events before it, and everything's new. It would be, as Brad has said a couple times, it'd be walking into the Wild Wild West, and you could get a top 8 that is just unprecedented of people. A, you don't know. B, somebody came up with the craziest, wackiest list idea, and they're just dominating with it. And we all look and go, that's really cool. Where now it's like, okay, yeah, I've seen this Tyranid list, I've seen that Tau list, I've seen that Harlequin list. All right, so now that that's over, let's move on, and then we get to see the Wild Wild West. I don't know. I although I think it was probably the right call based upon the timing of things, I really wish they were using the new stuff too.
Yeah, I get it, but also as we got closer, you spent more weeks with the new stuff. You know what I mean? So everybody wants to test new stuff. Even people who are going to LVO kind of want to do the new stuff. So, and especially anybody not going to LVO is like, yeah, there's zero chance I'm playing it with the old rules when there's all the new stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, that's also true, Matt. It sounds weird, but no one really cares who wins LVO now, 100%, because it doesn't matter. I mean, especially if like Tyranids win and they don't even exist in that form anymore. They literally, you just weekended Bernie's Tyranids into the tournament and had them win.
I'm trying to pick which one I want, and I flipped sides. I was against the new stuff, and now I'm for the new stuff. Tim, if they would have brought the new stuff, it would have been either Guard or Marines for me. I would have taken Tau. I would have. I don't know. I would have been the urge to play the new stuff and to try to push the meta. So,
no name winner with airbrush Quins. I could see that. You know, the thing is with that, I would have either brought some Eldar or I would have brought Sally's or Space Wolves, for sure. Because I'm very excited about just playing new versions of lists, and it's just fun.
I honestly been literally looking at Space Wolves and Battlecraft. I'm really liking some things I see there.
Oh, it's so exciting. The fact that you get free Combine Meltas and you can take them on units that no one else can, Space Terminators and Wolfguard, that's super exciting in and of itself, because you still have all the weapons on there, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, bonus, sneaky Combine Melta, take it to the face.
Well, you have to up the Storm Shield to take the Combine Melta, right?
Yeah, I don't care about the Storm Shield. I just want all offense all the time. Thunderhammer, Combine Melta, boom.
Go.
I think I like the Storm Shield still. I think I like the Thunderhammer Storm Shield. Just,
you know what my guy says to that? He shoots you in the face with his Combine Melta and then hits you with a hammer and goes, take your Storm Shield back to the bank, chump. You see me try to make 4-ups? That's not a real thing. Just shoot people. Hit them in the head.
They wouldn't have allowed Karskin, Matt. They were talking about if they did allow New Guard, it wouldn't have been any of the new models.
But Karsikins have been out. They came out in that Kill Team box set.
I was just about to say, they've been out for a hot minute.
Yeah.
But you just can't buy them regular. They were in the Kill Team set. There's like a bunch of models that are like that, where they came out, but you could only get them in the special edition boxes.
Yep.
Exactly. We're at Sniggs' house in Laos. I just went, he kept showing me these lists. I'm like, make it a Space Wolves list. It's better. Double exploding sixes +1 to hit. He's like, but I could do this. I'm like, or you could take max Combine Meltas and have 47 Thunderhammer hits. That's the better way. You just got to General Grievous people with Thunderhammers. Yeah.
I know we're supposed to be talking about LVO, but let's talk about the new meta for a second here. It seems very entertaining. I see a lot of people talking about, they think Iron Hand's going to be the best Space Marines. Do you two think that's true, or do you think...
I'll let Brian go first.
So I don't know if they're the best Space Marines. I think they're the most consistent of the Space Marine armies.
Oh, you stole my stuff.
Sorry, I just think they're consistent. I think Salamanders and White Scars can probably be the best of the two, but I think on a consistency basis, Iron Hands just are going to have consistently solid performances, where the other two require a little bit more tact and effort to get there, where you're going to have a lot of reps in with the army to do it. Personal opinion.
What do you think, Brad?
I think that Iron Hands is the pumpkin spice latte of Marines. It is going to be one of the most populous because it allows for mess ups. You can screw up a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, it's really, really good. But I don't know if it has as high of a ceiling as some of the others, but it definitely has a way higher floor. Because you get rerolls. If you're out of position, you can move and shoot heavy weapons without a penalty. It's got a decent secondary, you know what I mean? Great psychic powers. The Iron Hands are really, really good. I don't think they're going to be the Overlords. I just think you're going to see a lot of them because they have a lot of give in your play, because you can do things. You can be outside of your auras. You can be slightly out of position and compensate without taking hits on things. So they're an easier to play army. with that being said, you don't get punished for movement areas as bad.
And I kind of agree with that. But before I make my opinion, what is your opinion on what's going to be the top dogs? What's the top Marines we're looking at?
In what we're going to see in percentages, or just what I think, like the best player playing?
Give us both.
I think that you're going to see Iron Hands the top percentage because you're going to see a lot of people playing them and doing well with them. But I think that if you're looking for the top, if played at the best, I think that Space Wolves and I do think Salamanders. I'm of course partial to Salamanders, but I think the Space Wolves, just because you can bring so much free stuff, and just double exploding sixes is just a big thing. You know what I mean? You have multiple options for full rerolls. You have things like Woofin to give you reroll charges, and then of course you send a chaplain out with things like Hunter, so you can move that guy 21, and all of a sudden you're getting a bunch of Combine Meltas that rain down in front of you and 7-inch rerollable charges at worst.
All right, and I can see that.
And +1 to wound for Sally's is huge in a meta where you think I'm going to see a ton of Lehman Russes, Rogel Dorns, Gladiator tanks. Knights are still going to be out there en masse because they pick up Marines better than they ever have because no armor and contempt. And I think Salamanders, with all the +1 to wound and Flamer Melta plus the stratagem, is going to be huge.
Okay. Okay.
I agree.
I could agree with that.
I think White Scars are going to have a lot of play because of the strats and the abilities.
So we have John in chat saying he thinks 100 Templar bodies scares the heck out of him. I think that'd be a fun list to play, but I don't think it's going to do well in the new meta personally. And this is coming from a Black Templar enthusiast.
In GW terrain, I think it could be terrifying, though. It depends what you're playing on, to be honest. Because player placed, you could open up the field a little bit, then they have to cross a large open field.
Even then, though, like, man, when I think about when I look at Templars, right, and I was building them, I looked at it, I was like, man, like if I go against an 18 Inceptor list, just those 18 models scares my 100 bodies. They're gonna pick up a third of that each turn. Not to mention everything.
I do love this. Corey goes, would that make taking Votan Allied Patrol the UGG boots of 40k? So, and he goes, what will Melta handle the volume the infantry guard could bring? I think that's why one of the reasons I like Sally so much is that the flamers and the ability to max flamer with the +1 strats all over there gives you a lot of killing power for trash too. So, and then Space Wolves just inherently get that. Double exploding sixes goes a long way to just picking up idiots. Especially when you just have like regular guys, even with Astartes chainswords, just going in and getting a million hits. Don't think White Scars compare to BA or DA. I agree on that one. I think the White Scars are going to be fine, and they will play into other Marines fairly well once they get into Assault Doctrine, even because the +1 damage will be nice in trades. But I don't know if they have anything special that I'm not getting a bonus from the other stuff.
What does your Salamanders list look like, Brad?
I tell you right now, my Salamanders list, it looks like I have one that I was that before you said you should probably practice a little bit with Tau. I have my list that I was gonna send in. So Primaris, Chapter Master, Vulcan, 2 units of Infiltrators, 6-man Aggressor, Primaris Apothecary, 2 Attack Bike Squadrons with 3 apiece with multi-meltas, 2 Inceptor Squads, 1-6-1-3, 2 Landspeeder Tornadoes with multi-melta assault cannon, 2 Devastator Squads with 4 last cannons apiece, and then a Kama Melta and a Thunderhammer on the Sergeant, and then 6 Eradicators with 2 multi-meltas. That is what I was going to throw down. So just basically just a ton of MSU. Everybody's got a bunch of weapons. Go kill everyone.
You can see that.
So
I like it.
So and it's got a lot of rerolls there. You got the Chapter Master, plus you got Vulcan, who gives full rerolls to those Meltas and the Flamers. So I'm just looking for consistency. You spamming the +1 to wound strat on the Plasma Inceptors, for instance, and then just using full rerolls on everything to just really make it consistent killing of things.
So one of the guys messaged me right now and said, do we think Dark Angels creep up into that top Marine meta?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they're really good too. It's just that I prefer the others.
They have the second most abusable units for all the free gear. They have an army that's basically built around Terminators. Terminators are fantastic in the new meta. They also have they like to take things with like attack bikes. Multi-meltas are free now. It's just there's everything about that army can take free upgrades. It's like Space Wolves, unique items that units that can take different upgrade options and they can abuse it. So 100%.
The thing is that I'm looking at not trying to durable anything. I want as many units as possible that kill as much as possible, because it's for me, right, especially right now, I think that the meta is just going towards output, because there's so much damage right now in everything that's coming out with the new list that anything that thinks they're going to be able to sit for a while is just, man, they're just dead. Anything can die.
I'm actually, I built 5 lists last night, all different factions. I got one kind of done, and when I was ready to like fine tune it, I was like, or I went this faction, and I was like, I had so much attention disorder last night about that. Like, I kind of have a feeling I want to play. What's up?
I did the same thing.
I'm kind of thinking about bringing Raven Guard back.
Super strong.
I think I can make some alpha striking armies that people won't attack against. They won't expect it. It's hard, like, I just.
I love that Tom immediately goes to, look, I need an army that can continue my streak of only playing for 20 to 25 minutes. I'm not. That's the thing, Eloise. I'm not trying to kill everything. That army plays the mission very, very well because the Salamanders have a great secondary now. Promethean Creed got upgraded. So basically you take banners from Promethean Creed and then something depending on what you're playing against.
I just want to say, Louise, that it's taken me a long time, but I have finally affected Brad in a positive light. No more grinding out games. Just go full pedal to the metal, knock them out turn 1, turn 2, and just think about this. Think about all that time you saved that you could have been playing a game that you could not spend drinking.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to zen out. I'm ready to go. Arcs, dude, I really like the Arcs of the Covenant. I really like the stuff. They call me a GW shill for nothing, but I think that they did it right for a change. They did it way more right than they have in a long time.
I think they got a lot right on this one, because with building lists, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to lose the CP to do. Oh wait, I don't have to lose the CP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Arcs of Omen is setting us up for what 10's going to look like. A lot of rumors out there about the new fort, like the way you build armies.
You like building a deck or something? What the fuck's happening over here?
What's up?
The pounding.
That was me.
Oh, I'm just like, what are you guys just fucking putting an addition onto the house real quick?
Well, I am right now, actually. I've been working on my new deck, so.
Wouldn't you like to know, Brett?
Oh, I do. So, that's a good question on this one, guys. The main question, will mortal wound spam armies be rare? I don't know. I think that any army you take, you have to have some. Every army right now has to have some mortal wounds in it, because they're the answer to the difficult things sometimes.
Do you know the one thing I dislike a lot about Arcs of Omen, though? No Supreme Command. I feel like you dick a lot of armies that way.
I think they need to FAQ a couple. I mean, I think they can FAQ and say that Abaddon, the Silent King, don't break your detachments because of their Dynasty / Agents of Chaos rule if you put them in an Arcs detachment. I think they could just fix that with a very simple line.
Yeah, but in my opinion, if you just do that, then you're given severe advantage those armies. I think they should bring something in for other armies, like Bobby G, Shadow Sun. I mean, all these characters that had this keyword built in their data sheet is now useless.
Yeah, I can see that, but I think that they're going to do something with that. So I actually have to read more into the book. I still have mine plastic wrapped right now because I knew that I was going to LVO, so I didn't have to worry about it as much. I won't miss the Silent King. Yeah, Abaddon ruined it for everybody. He does do that, though. Abaddon does ruin stuff.
I don't know why you guys said it. Just kill it, dude. It's not that hard.
That is your answer to everything. You can do this, this, or this. Or, counterpoint, you could murder everyone. I mean, that also is a thing that you could do. It's always an option.
Speaking of murdering things, our sponsor, the Art Store, gave me one of these to give away today for the stream.
Whoa!
So anyone who's commented will be entered into the shot to grab it. We'll do a name generator a little later. And we'll hit you up.
Nice. So
awesome.
Also,
Thanks.
if you haven't voted on Brian's army, throw it in there. Horde Tyranids, Horde Necrons, or Big Boy Tyranids, or Destroyer Cult Necrons.
Oh, well, we got Don asking now. So what is Brian running to LVO? Do we have what's winning right now?
So what am I bringing to LVO, or what do I think is winning LVO?
So yes is currently winning, which is Horde either one, and then Tyranids and Necrons are tied right now.
Nice. What do I think's winning LVO? I honestly think Tau is going to win LVO because I just think in player place terrain with the players that I know are going to be there, in the top hands of those players, that army is frightening to me. That's my opinion. That's what I think.
All 5 big boys that's been playing well at Tau is going to be first tournament we're all at. So,
yep.
And then there's Brad, but Brad will just, I don't know, Brad's gonna submarine and
look, man, I'm gonna win 10 games this weekend out of 9. Actually, that is a funny story. We went to BFS teams, and PJ and Alan are just PJ and Alan. It's the same person. Alan and Tom are just talking insane shit to each other, and I'm just like, Jesus, guys, let it go. And finally, Tom goes, "You shut your mouth, Brad. I'm gonna win 6 games this weekend." And he's like, "I'll bet you anything." I'm like, "I will also bet you that you will not win 6 games." And Tom's just all ready to take the bet. And I can't even remember. Somebody goes, "I am impressed about this bet that Tom's going to win 6 games out of 5. I'm like, what is he doing? I'm playing one more game. You're not allowed to leave this tournament until I beat the crap out of your army.
Except that wouldn't have worked because we were racing out of there and almost didn't make the airplane. We get to the airport, and I'm like, Brad, just give me your shit. I'll carry it because you're not going to make it.
Oh, God, I was limping along so bad.
His bag behind us.
He's just like, he literally grabs the bag from me because he goes, "I'm not doing this as a favor. You're actually bothering me by the fact that you're limping so bad." I'm like, "Screw you."
I was like, "Brad, just get on my back." He's like, "Shut the fuck up. Just get on my back." All right.
John's got a good question on this, and I actually think I like it a lot. Because how do you think that free reserves are going to impact Ark of the Covenant? And I like it a ton. I actually hated the fact that you had to spend CP to reserve things. I love the tactical options of putting stuff in reserve.
So Don, I hate to tell you this, but I have decided why I've been working out and getting healthier. I haven't really been drinking, so I still talk a big game. Probably will not have a single drink at LVO because I'm trying to be a healthier lifestyle. And Brad can contest when I'm drunk. I eat everything, so I'm going to be healthy. And but if me and Brad somehow make it to the final 2, we're going to have a lore battle.
I was just about to say the lore battle will commence.
Nope.
Putting it on the clock, we're just going to read each other our favorite stories and then go, "Oh man, I timed out."
Nope.
Well, that's the thing is that well, go back to the tactical reserves real quick, guys, because Lyle put something in, John put it, on John's quote. I've always thought that reserves are a huge thing in the game, and I don't like when people don't take them because if you don't have reserves, your opponent can just disrespect having to box out their backboard edges and stuff. And especially when you're looking at the Dawn of War missions or the scouring and things of that nature, anyone where you're pushing really far forward for your objectives, nobody wants to have to string shit into their backfield.
This is a true statement from Brad. Every time I've ever seen him play a game and he's like, "What's your reserves?" and Brad's like, "I don't have any." He looks like he wants to just punch himself in the throat.
I do. It hurts me. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, then you just see people go take all of their models and just scooch them forward and go, you need something.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick, we got a few minutes left in the show, but me and Brad tore about this, and so is Brian. Guys, it helps us a lot if you give us some thumbs ups and some subscribes. We're on our 11th episode now. Getting some pretty decent traction. You're going to see a lot of things like new content coming soon. We announced it last week. We do have one of our friends, Blake the Law, going to be coming on here with us and doing some videos soon. We got Flavor Fluff coming out with them. We have Brad's DOG Fluffy, or Fluffy DOG.
Fluffy GOG.
Just Fluff. We have the Judges Corner with Brian coming out soon with, I think John DeFrank's going to do that with you as well. So we have a lot of stuff coming out. The likes, the subscribes helps us out tremendously. New channel. We love all you guys as well. Thank you. And it just helps a lot. Now that I've interrupted Brad and got a quick little plug there, I think free reserves is a big deal. I think it's going to change the way the game's played.
100%. I think it makes a lot of armies that were, because you were a little CP dependent, now that you can actually spend the CP to do more things, it gives you some more flexible options that weren't there before.
I'll say one thing. What I really like about Arcs of Omen is it found a way to give you the CP back to have a more flexible army construction, which we lacked in NEF, but it doesn't give you a crap ton of CP to abuse for those ultra first turn alpha strikes we used to see, where like like this first season, I know Brian, you see me at ACO. I was spending some games. I was spending like 8 CP turn 1, but I just tabled everything. I was like, yep. I started the game with 8 CP and going turn 2 and like I'm out. But I killed everything.
In the old, I did see Naden use 11 CP in a first turn combat shenanigans. I was just like, why? He's like, because I could. It was awesome.
Oh God, when I was running Crusher Stampede, I'd use all of it and, no problem.
Oh, yeah. You just zoom in. Mortals, this, extra hits, reroll wounds.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that I don't even know if I'll take a gate anymore in my Eldar because I can just bring free stuff out. That was one of the main things that I did with the gateway was just making it so they halved it, rounding down. So you could take 29 power level for 1 CP.
Oh, Brad, I had to hunt that gate down for you. So every time you
still just going to play it? You're like, here's the thing, guys. I didn't pay for this gate and I'm not going to use it, but that dude over there said I have to put it on the table. So just pretend that we're using it, all right, man?
He's intimidating. Like, I come over and I'm like, yo, he's using that gate, right? He brought a unit out of that gate this game, correct?
At least 2, Tom. Mr. Ogden, I brought out 2 units.
Brad, don't look me in the eyes. I told you how many times. Don't look me back in the eyes. No. I don't know. I know we're supposed to talk about LVO and we spent half the show talking about the news stuff, but I'm super excited for it. I like the fact that what I think is going to be the top army. I think you're going to see Marines be top army. I know everyone's saying Guard right now. I think Marines are going to be top army. And I like that because there are so many different Marine builds that play drastically different. Mm-hmm. So it's like playing a different army every single time is what I'm excited about.
That's the thing that I'm so excited about with the new arcs, because I think you're going to see, yes, you're going to see a ton of Marines, but you always see Marines when they're good. You see a ton of Marines even when they're bad. They're the most popular army. I mean, or popular faction. It's not even close. But the Andy, I will get back to you on that one. But
same. I have a restaurant for you.
With that, you're going to see. I think that you're going to see just a hugely congested S tier, A tier type deal where there's going to be a whole bunch of armies that are viable, and that's the best time. in a tournament, I would love to play a different faction every single time I play. That's the most fun. Different shit every single time would be great.
Well,
Pete, I got 3 Hammerfall bunkers for you.
I'm glad you said that because I was talking to some people, and I think it'd be a fun challenge because I made a challenge this season. I was only going to play Tau, and I kept my word. I've only played Tau. But I think it'd be a fun challenge to put yourself that I'm going to play a different ARP every single tournament I go to. So I think I'm going to try that this season.
I'm doing that.
Go back to an army.
That's like the Brad Chester special.
Yeah, I was to say I've already been doing that, and I can now do that with really good armies because I want to play Space Wolves. I want to play Salamanders. I kind of want to try out the Ravenwing. I want to try out New Craft World. There's just a ton of viable armies out there. At some point in time, I do have to play dwarves because I am a space dwarf. So,
good night, Matt.
Got this.
But no, Andy, to answer your question about the best place to eat in Vegas, there is this restaurant called Gordon Ramsay's BLT Steak. The dude has like 5 of them out there. This restaurant's in Bally's. It has the best steak. I've ate at all the big top restaurants, including Wolfgang Punk's. Has the best steaks. Has great appetizers. And I probably won't. This is probably the first time I've ever gone to Vegas, and I didn't stop there at least once to this restaurant. It's my favorite restaurant in Vegas. But they also have the best amaretto and sour. I don't know what they do with their amaretto and sour. It tastes different than anywhere I've ever been. It's the best amaretto and sour I've ever had in my life. It's delicious.
You're just going to find out it's just Kool-Aid. Tom's just drinking no alcohol, just a glass of Kool-Aid. But just give him this. He'll be fine. It's so good.
I'm pretty sure amaretto and sours are made off of Kool-Aid. Anyways, I've had nights where I've drank a lot of amaretto and sours and never once got drunk off of them.
I was almost going to take the Quins. I literally was this close to taking Quins, and then I had the 40K intervention yesterday where I was told that, yeah, you could possibly win LVO with Quins. Will you die during this? 50-50. Take a faster army.
Yeah, but then there's 2 Tau players that love facing Quins, and you're going to have to probably go through them. So,
Goat Gordon. I'm a big fan of Hex, by the way, if we're talking about restaurants, because it's super open super late. It's the one where you go through the tunnel at Bally's into Paris, and it's right there.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's the one we eat at really late, after basically on Saturday and stuff.
Also, back when LVO used to be during the same weekend as Super Bowl Sunday, we'd always stay an extra day in those years, and we'd always go to Gordon Ramsay's BLT Steak. That's how we found about the place, because it doesn't open up till 5. So usually in Vegas, everything was just completely packed by the time the Super Bowl starts. And then you'd go into BLT Steak, no one's in there, and it would just be easy peasy. It's the best spot, great food, and I seriously, anyone going to Las Vegas in a couple weeks, check out BLT Steak in Bally's. If you literally don't like it, you can come on here and say that, and I will make Brad Chester send you the money back via PayPal.
What do you guys think? How do we not talk about this? Because it doesn't exist anymore. T-Sun's Flamers are by far the favorite right now to win LVO. And we're just that doesn't even exist.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I think everybody's just played against it enough now. Maybe they're prepared for it. At least that's in my head. But you're probably right. That's definitely a top tier army. That's why I wasn't including Emperor's Champions or Emperor's Children when we were discussing, because I completely didn't put that in there. But yeah, that's a good choice.
I said EC, so
it's Emperor's Children. You didn't say 1,000 Suds with Flamers. Literally the most predicted to win army in the game.
It's pretty good, but I don't think that army,
if you just kill it all.
Yeah,
I don't think that army's gonna get past Nassim, me, Brad.
Tom's like, look, man, you can bring as many flamers as you want. I'll kill them all.
I'm gonna have. You just okay. You're gonna go this far. Okay, you're gonna do this. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna shoot you. It is what it is. Yeah, they got 3+ save. Cool. When I make you take 80 saves, I don't care what your save is.
It is a real thing on that.
Can I have
It's a really solid army. To be honest with you, not saying I forgot about it, but it didn't enter my top 4 because
That is
Didn't see.
Brian best quote here. If you don't talk about D-Sun's Flamers, it can't hurt you.
That's right.
The thing is, and you know what? Maybe I'll eat crow, and maybe I'll get absolutely my shit caved in by T-Sun's Flamers this tournament coming up, and it's a very good possibility. But we had a former teammate who I think's the best 1,000-ton player in the world. The dude's fantastic. He's meticulous. He's in my opinion one of the best players in the world, and they never give my Tau any issues. So.
The army that Matt was get a question. I'll answer this real quick. Matt goes, did Tau kill enough Necrons just to not worry about them? I didn't think that until I saw Tom play them multiple times. And the standard builds with, Scarab destroyers and stuff like that, you can pick them up so fast that you're definitely favored in that game. Because you can kill them before they can score.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. We did talk about a Tau list that just auto lost a bloodline. It was a non-plane list, and we're like, "Oh, this sounds really good." And then we went, "Hey, man, demons exist. Are you okay with auto losing to demons?" I was like, "Not really. That seems like you probably shouldn't have just a straight L for something." It's a thing. So, all right, let's plug some stuff, guys. Everyone, again, like and subscribe, please. We're updating the Patreon. We're gonna have more levels of Patreon. We gotta make a couple dollars to keep this going on. So, plus I gotta get a couple new organs. I can't sell mine because no one wants them. So we gotta keep this thing moving, baby. So I appreciate everybody, all the response on it. I do want, if anybody in the DOG chat can put in, if you guys could throw in what you'd like us to chat about on Thursday, because we obviously will talk about anything, but throw it up in there and we'll get some stuff ready for it.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we do have new content coming, and we had technical difficulties with our new editor who was supposed to be running the chat the show today, and yep. My child killed a bloodthirster in combat at Glass City. Nice. Brian, what do you got coming out in the East?
Let's see. We got so many things going on. I've lost track. I'm not going to lie. I got Salt City GT coming up in July. That's the big one I'm doing. But don't forget that Battle for Salvation's got their teams tournament that they just threw their tickets live for. Ed does some fantastic stuff down there. So keep an eye out for that.
Also, next Monday, just found out Stephen Crawley like to come on and be a guest on our show, and it's part of one of our newer teams in the South. So
nice.
Let's have Stephen on here next week and talk about the South.
The South, the dirty South, rocking it all. All right, everyone.
Hey, real quick before we go, Brian, when is you have a couple episodes filmed of Judge's Corner, right?
I have 2 episodes filmed, not edited.
Cool. Let's get them the editors. And then also, Brad and I have a Space Marine Masterclass coming up this Friday.
And we're talking about lists, damn it. We keep pushing that back. I want to talk about lists.
Okay. Well, we're going to have some kind of masterclass this Friday. We'll figure it out. Sounds good. Other than that, guy, the giveaway. When are you going to announce the giveaway, Brian?
We're going to look at the chat after the show. I'm going to throw some names in the name generator thingy, and we'll do it, and we'll pop it into the
Thursday show.
I just want you to know that you have no help from chat, because the end poll was even for Horde or no Horde, and even for Tunids and Necrons.
All right,
That's awesome.
The first person who types up in chat picks Brian Army. First one now, go. First
The
one.
best is there's a delay, so now I have to wait to see what that is before we go now. You're like, and wait for it.
They're going to announce the giveaway winner on the Thursday show, right, Brian?
Yeah, we'll announce it on the Thursday show.
Somebody type something.
Oh, somebody,
please.
They barely haven't even seen it. Votat.
What is that one of the options, was it?
Big Nids. Big Nids. Big Nids
There you
wins.
go. Go back to back. Big Nids. That's where you're pointing.
All right.
Everyone, thanks for hanging out with us.